Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to our annual Founders Day picnic. My name is Chris Christie. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Foundation, and this event is the evening that we distribute half of our annual granting dollars. The Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta is one of 192 community foundations across Canada, and we're a little different from other charities in that we accept donations and bequests, and then we hold that money, professionally invested, and then from the investment income, we give grants back to the charities across southeastern Alberta in accordance with our donors' wishes. It's a great way to leave a legacy in your community. It's a great way to support charities that you are fond of or have a special place in your heart. And if you want to know how to find out how to be more part of the Community Foundation, then please see one of our staff after the program or stop by our office in Medicine Hat or give us a call. This event wouldn't be possible without the tremendous sponsorship of Pritchard & Company. You know, they sponsor our event every year. Like, all I have to do is send an email asking again, and they say yes. It's awesome. So I would just like to, yeah, where is Les? Yeah. So I'd just like to introduce Les Sholey. He's just going to say a few words from Pritchard & Company. Come on up, Les. Yeah.
All right, I was going to wear a name tag until I saw this humongous sign, so I thought that really, you probably couldn't read the name tag anyways. So, Pritchard & Company law firm has been around in one form or other for more than 100 years, and while I haven't been around quite that long, I've certainly been fortunate to be a part of building some lasting relationships in our community, which sometimes spans generations. And our firm has certainly recognized the value and importance of investing and giving back to our community. And the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta shares a similar core value to us, and we're proud to say that we stand in good company with the Community Foundation. If you're here today because you're a donor, please accept our thanks for contributing to our community. And if you happen to be a recipient here today, please also accept our thanks in your work to help build a resilient community in Medicine Hat and area. Thank you.
Thank you, Les. So many of you know that our board chair is Michael Ansell. He owns Medicine Hat Monumental. He's on a vacation right now, and he's emailed me probably 6 times from Iceland, Copenhagen. I'm so sorry I'm not going to be here. It's the first event I've missed. So Michael does send his regrets and best wishes, but we have our wonderful Vice Chair, Ajit Atwal, who will be standing in for Michael today. So Ajit, would you like to come forward, please? Messing things up for you.
Hello, my name is Ajit Atwal. I'm Vice Chair of the board. As Chris has said, our board chair, Michael Ansell, is unable to join us this evening. So it is with great pleasure I welcome everyone to the Community Foundation of Medicine Hat and Southeastern Alberta, the annual Founders Day picnic. There are some dignitaries with us today. His Worship Mayor Ted Cluxton, Councillor Darren Hirsch was going to be here, but unfortunately couldn't make it. Mr. Drew Barnes, MLA for Cypress and Medicine Hat. Events like this would not be possible As Chris has already said, without the generosity of our sponsors. Thank you to Les Sholey again and Richard and Company for being supporter of the Community Foundation's work for many years and generously sponsoring the picnic since 2011. The Community Foundation's success would not be possible without the incredible governing volunteer board, committees, and staff. The current board members are Michael Ansel, Cheryl Posick, Francis Barnes, Gregory J. Naiva, Jim Vandersloot, Larry Johnson, Matthew Lofgren, Myrna Stark, Neil Mazer, Robert Bello, Sean Blewett, Suzanne Curtin, Tracy Stroud. Please give them a round of applause. Today, we want to recognize two dedicated board members who are retiring. These individuals have served a combined 8 years on the board and have been heavily involved with various committees, executive roles over the years. And these gentlemen are Larry Johnson and Sean Blewett. Sean is not here, but if I could ask Larry to come here to receive a gift of his service appreciation.
You know I'm behind you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Give lots of money.
An external appointing committee comprising of the mayor of City of Medicine Hat, Chamber of President of the Medicine Hat Chamber of Commerce, the mayor or Reeve representing the part of community outside of Medicine Hat are currently working on new board members to replace Sean and Larry. We would also like to welcome the following regional fund advisory chairs. Linda Bingaman, Prairie Crocus Community Fund, David Andrews, Brooks and District Community Fund, Clint Thacker, Rural Community Fund of 40 Mile. I would also like to introduce foundation staff as follows. Chris Christie, Executive Director, Nikki Gray, Grants and Administration Coordinator, Barb Kenworth, the Finance Administrator, Marlene Watson, Regional Development Manager, Kim Steve, Coordinator of the Prairie Crocus Community Fund, Michelle McLean, Coordinator for the Rural Community Fund of 40 Mile, Nick Holz, Coordinator for the Brooks and District Community Fund, We are honored that donors believe in the Community Foundation's vision and its modus operandi and choose to support the regional communities with their generous donations. Last year has been a great year for the foundation in terms of its continued impact and reach. Some of the major endeavors completed during the last year are as follows. One, establishment of 3 sub-regional funds and operating advisory committees. Again, Brooks and District Community Fund, the Rural Community, go ahead with the Rural Community Fund of 40 Mile and the Prairie Crocus Community Fund. Number 2, updating the three-year operational strategy. The Loblaw and Community Foundations of Canada partnership with the creation of a local food systems map, which is available on our website. 4, our new partnership with the Community Foundation of Canada and the RBC Foundation for the Future Launch Community Challenge Grant. It will generate an additional $60,000 going to youth-led projects in our region. In partnership with Primary Care Network, Thrive, the Medicine Hat Public Library, the Chamber of Commerce, we hosted a vital conversation session of community members. The group had excellent discussions related to 9 community pillars ranging from business and employment to health and housing. A report covering these conversations is available to the community here at this event and our website. Also, last year we distributed $409,000 in grants to charitable agencies across southeastern Alberta. Since inception, the Community Foundation has disbursed over $5.5 million of grants to our region. Our total endowment fund is currently standing at over $13 million. To move on with the program, I would like to welcome Mr. Drew Barnes, MLA, Cypress Medicine Hat, to say a few words.
Ajit, thank you. Thank you very much. Chris Christie, ladies and gentlemen, donors, and everybody that's a part of Medicine Hat Community Foundation. My goodness, it's my great privilege and pleasure to be here today. First of all, my hat's off again to the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta. Number I just heard, 13 million endowments, over 5 million to where it needs to go the most in our region, in our province. And over the years, I have watched incredible staff people, an amazing group of board of directors, an amazing group of volunteers consistently help those in our community that can do the most good with those hard-earned dollars. So thank you very, very much for that. Secondly, to the agencies, whether government or not-for-profit or charity, my goodness, on behalf of all the people of Cypress Medicine Hat, on behalf of the province of Alberta and the government of Alberta, my hat is especially off to you. The challenging times that you go through, when the economy is good or bad, dealing with people when sometimes strong people need the most help, doing what needs to be done with super efficiency. I think we all know that no group is more efficient than the non-for-profit center and the challenges that come at us daily. Thanks to each and every one of you for caring so much about Albertans. I'd especially like to thank the donors. Some may know Alberta and Southern Alberta leads all of Canada in the percentage of us that give our money or our time. It's over 46%. 46% of us are willing to give back to our community to help each other. And it was Samuel Booker in his book about slavery that said, the way to bring yourself the most happiness is to give the most away. Incredible how Albertans understand that the most. And I'd like to share a little bit with everybody from this last campaign. One of the hidden gems in what was talked about and what the new government's committed to is ensuring that Alberta will always have the highest charitable tax credit in all of Canada. And my goodness, why wouldn't we do that? When over 43% of us, time and time again, prove our goodwill and our willingness to help each other. I believe it was a value that was consistently shared by all political parties, because I didn't hear any opposition to it. So once again, on behalf of the 53,000 people that I'm grateful to represent in Cypress Medicine Hat, on behalf of the province of Alberta and the government of Alberta, bless you all for all the good work you do. Keep it up, and thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Drew. And if you're wondering, we have a special place for Mayor Ted Clugston towards the end, so he's coming up too. You know, when we do our granting, it's all about impact. We want to make a difference in our community. We want to move the needle on social issues and other facets of life that really lead to having a healthy, vibrant community. So we have two stories of grant recipients to share with you tonight. The first one, the Sexual Assault Response Committee received a grant last year for their Hope Home. Did I get that right? Home? I'm looking at Nikki. Healing House. It had two H's. Anyhow, the Healing House. And their executive director, Christina Johnson, gave a very awesome story at one of our board meetings. So I'd like to call upon Kim to come up and give the story, impact story for this program. Where is she? Oh, there she is.
Okay. Let me see, where do I want to start? So when we applied for the Community Foundation funding, SARC was experiencing a significant increase in those seeking services. At that time, our one-on-one therapy program had a 9-month wait list. So one of our creative solutions was to start a youth group therapeutic session called Healing House. And that was actually the program that we'd applied for funding for. One of our first participants in that program was a young girl who'd come to SARC and during the course of her one-on-one therapy became hospitalized for suicide ideation. Though she had the support of family, she was isolated socially and found it difficult to make friends. And she began to experiment with drugs and alcohol and form unhealthy relationships. After she began Healing House, she understood that she was not alone and that she did not need to rely on unhealthy relationships for her own self-worth. She completed the program during her first round. 1 year later, she developed leadership and advocacy skills, and we invited her to attend Healing House again. And at this time, she was welcoming new members and fostering mentorship skills. She's now working part-time and involved in her faith community, drug and alcohol-free, and an advocate for her peer group. And I'd like to read you at the end of every Healing House session, we do what we call survivor love letters. So they write a letter for future participants. Dear survivor, you are here for a reason. You may not know what that reason is yet, but let me tell you that I am in the same situation, but it gets better. Look at all those beautiful ladies sitting around you. I promise you that they will understand you. I can tell you how strong, absolutely stunning you are, and I am so proud of you for coming. You make someone's day 10 times better. I promise. I want to be there with all these ladies working through this together, even though each and everyone's situation is different. All these ladies have your back. I promise you are strong. I love you, and remember, you are worth it.
Thank you very much, Kim. Our next grant impact story comes from the Medicine Hat District Food Bank. Selena Simmons, Executive Director.
Hello, everyone. So our program was around food waste. And so we approached the Community Foundation last year and said, you know, we have this great program and it's innovative and it's going to create a job and it's going to create opportunities for reduction of food waste and environmental stewardship while at the same time feeding people. And of course, the amazing people at the Community Foundation came forward right away and said, yeah, we're in. What can we do to help? So we were able to, through a grant from the Community Foundation, hire a part-time driver that could go to grocery stores and pick up food waste. What we found out is we were originally picking up food waste, 3 to 4 times a week with one driver. When we added a second one, what happened was that we were able to more than quadruple the amount of food that we could pick up just by picking up on Saturdays. So we were able to see the impact right away in our organization. We went from picking up 5,000 pounds of food every week from grocery stores to picking up 20,000 pounds of food from grocery stores. Because we were doing this, we were able to build relationships with community partners all over our community. Places like Red Hat, places like Co-op. Co-op actually created their own food waste policy based on this program, which caused everyone in their organization to start looking around at what things they were throwing out that they didn't need to. I need to be clear that when I'm talking about food waste, I'm not talking about garbage. I'm talking about a package of strawberries that has one bad one in it. And so those things then started to come to the food bank. What happened then is we were able to create community kitchens all over our community. We were able to donate to over 35 community organizations, including places like Big Brothers Big Sisters. We donated to Champion Center, Salvation Army. 35 not-for-profits in our community benefited from this food that was given to us, so we were able to spread our wealth around. We were also able to hire someone, which was really cool because it was somebody who was previously a client of ours and then became a volunteer, and then all of a sudden now he's working part-time and he's been able to stop the cycle of poverty in his own life. So we were able to see impacts all over. Probably the greatest impact, though, came through our Food First program, where we were able to provide more fresh vegetables to our participants. Something that we learned really quickly was that we needed to build community with people rather than just throwing food at them. And so we were able to take these strawberries and we made jam. And while we were making jam, what happened is that we built community with young women and young men who were experiencing a hard time. We saw a young woman who had 4 children and 1 on the way. She came to us and we were all sitting around having beautiful strawberries and jam, and we were talking. And while we were talking, what happened was she said, I'm having a baby right away. And we said, oh, are you all ready for that baby? And she said, oh, yeah. She says, I'm all ready. She says, I have my cab money all saved up. Your cab money? And she said, yeah, my cab money. And we said, well, what's the cab money for? She said, that's how I'm going to get to the hospital. What happened next is the reason why we have to change the way we do things. That young woman was then surrounded by an entire community of young women who were in the same situation as her. They took her to the hospital. They helped her with her children. They took care of her. Then she was surrounded by these amazing mentors who were there to help them cook, but really change their lives for the better. And so at the Medicine Hat District Food Bank, we think that we are able to take your donation dollars and really impact our community, and the Community Foundation has done that for us over and over again, and all of your donation dollars, I promise you, have gone to amazing, amazing programs where we've stretched your dollars as far as they possibly can. So we thank you, and we thank the Community Foundation for all of your support over the years. And just as an addition, we are still looking for funding for this program, so.
There's no secret why you're the executive director there, Selena. Thank you very much for those stories. So we did some revisions of a recent grant, but I think I'll let Jason Opino tell you the story about that. He's going to present the Community Impact Award to the first recipient.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Jason Opino. I'm on the Community Leadership Council. Our Vital Impact Grant application and process was recently changed to distribute one large grant that could truly make an impact in our community. The result was a $25,000 grant designated for charities with new and innovative project ideas that show creativity and leadership in supporting a vibrant, healthy, and caring community. The volume of applications showed great need, but even greater creativity. Using information from our 2017 Vital Signs report, agencies who addressed the priorities of work and economy, mental health, and vulnerable populations were invited to submit letters of intent. 3 organizations were chosen to present their projects to our committee. And I will now tell you in agonizing detail how difficult this decision-making process was to build suspense. Now, the Community Leadership Committee and the Board of Directors would like to present our very first $25,000 Community Impact Award to the Southeast Alberta Search and Rescue Association for their collaborative emergency response project. Would CSAR President Paul Carolyn please come forward?
Okay. I'm just Vanna. No, here you go. Here you go. Which side? Go here so Nikki can take your picture. And Tracy Stroud is also on our Community Leadership Committee, so. Go ahead. Yes. No,
Thank you.
absolutely.
On behalf of Southeastern Alberta Search and Rescue, we just want to thank the Community Foundation. I'm always so touched by the willingness of organizations like this and the donors in the room to support organizations like ours. We came up with this idea in that we were relying on HALO to provide training for us and relying on their donors to support them in fuel costs and pilot time. So our project is designed so that our search and rescue volunteers can operate safely on rescue missions when we work with the helicopter. Search and rescue has a massive impact in the community. I can speak from personal experience that everything from an evidence search where my brother was injured, and that our team found the evidence that made a difference in that trial, is so impactful, and you have no idea how much this makes a difference to what we do. Our volunteers spend thousands and thousands of hours every year trying to give back to our community and make a difference in our community, and I couldn't be more honored to be their leader at the moment. And to you guys, thank you so much for what you do, and we'll definitely put this to good use, and we'll make a difference. Thank you.
Congratulations, CSAR. Alrighty, so this is the part where we give away a lot more money on behalf of our many donors. So I'd like to introduce Cheryl Posick from the Grants Committee, our leader on the Grants Committee, to come up. And I think, Ajit, you're going to help hand out stuff too, aren't you? Shake hands. So.
Well, that's a good thing. I made it up the podium without falling. So. Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Posick, and I am pleased to present this year's spring grants. We are starting this evening with our Smart and Caring grants, which count for just half of the funds we distribute annually. These grants are awarded to the charities selected from a thorough and extensive review process completed by our Grants Committee. Can I ask the Grants Committee if you're here to stand up? I know I've seen a few of you. Neil, Carrie, Joanne, Karen. Anyways, these guys, they spend a lot of time going through the grants. We get a fair few of them, and yeah, sometimes the discussion is pretty lively in those meetings. So as Ajit mentioned, these grants are possible because of the generosity of Community Foundation Southeast Alberta donors who support our community's greatest need. So thank you to our donors. So first up tonight, the Champion Centre has been serving the physical and spiritual needs of the hungry, homeless, and lonely for over 13 years. This year, the Community Centre applied for funding to install a new furnace and air conditioning unit. They have recently been utilizing space heaters to heat their space. Community Foundation has granted them partial funding of $15,000. Representing the Champion Centre is Vice President Barry Knodel. Okay, now that we know what to do in taking the picture, sorry, Nikki. Halo Rescue is a recipient of $25,000. Halo is a local organization which dispatches the only dedicated medevac helicopter for southern Alberta and southwest Saskatchewan, providing every person in Halo's coverage area with an improved chance of survival by delivering compassionate, patient-focused, safe and timely advanced life support services. In order to have the capacity to provide night-hour rescues, Halo applied for funding to purchase night vision goggles. The submission was approved for full funding of $25,000, with $1,250 coming from the Methanex Field of Interest Fund. Here to accept this grant is Kim Simpson, Executive Director, and Tricia Nadari, the Secretary. Only if you want to. Nope. You're more than welcome to. They can take the mic. The next up, Medicine Hat and District Track and Field Society provides a premier all-weather track open to the public that provides an opportunity for individuals of all ages to build their stamina, enjoy an active life, and to compete in track meets. The Community Foundation has granted $20,000 to resurface the track. This grant was partially funded by the Medicine Hat 2008 Summer Games Field of Interest Fund. We'd like to welcome Secretary Dr. Ken Sauer, Facility Manager Mark Derbyshire, and the City of Medicine Hat Affiliate Manager of Parks Planning and Development, that's a mouthful, Maureen Moudry, to accept these funds.
It would be difficult, by the way, for me to accept this with Mo and myself without saying a few words. This particular project, by the way, of resurfacing, this track was built in 2007. The all-surface, or the all-weather surface track, by the way, it takes about 10 years for it to be in need of being resurfaced because of the heat in the summertime and the cold in the wintertime. Now, this particular track, by the way, is a labor of love for me. I don't have money to donate because I'm just on a poor old pension. But the fact is, what I do instead is volunteer my time and effort. And we have now, by the way, an estimate over 5,000 people who use that track every year, from 7 years of age, up to about 90, because besides our track meets and the practices that they do, we think this is a great foundation for everything. We have parents, by the way, there are 4 mothers with children walking around that track, 4 times around the track for a mile, and they can walk on this carpet. And also beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to get out there and do so, please do. And working with the City of Medicine Hat, this project, by the way, is still subject to a community foundation enhancement program, by the way, Mr. Barnes. And so we'll be, it's going to cost $186,000. We have an 83 CFEP, and I just want to personally note that in your little handbook. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the Community Foundation of Southeast Alberta just does a tremendous job. Thank you to all the sponsors who help, because from time to time there is a need. We're all nonprofit. We can run that track, by the way, for $1,400 a year, just for an honorarium. Everybody else just donates their time. And the city helps with some of the upkeep, and the school district as well. But that's what happens. You get these volunteers out there, and they all do a good job on behalf of all of us. Thank you kindly.
The Medicine Hat Women's Shelter Society has been supporting individuals who have experienced family violence by providing safe shelter, education, advocacy, and access to community resources for almost 40 years in our community. The shelter has been in need of a new security system, and the Community Foundation is pleased to fully fund this replacement with a grant for $10,000. We'd like to invite Joanne Ottenbright, Assistant Director from the Medicine Hat Women's Shelter, to receive the grant. The 2019 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge brings over 160 of the world's best young hockey players to Medicine Hat and Swift Current, Saskatchewan. In November, the tournament will feature the next generation of stars, many of whom will have their names called at the 2021 NHL draft entry draft. The Community Foundation would like to present a $10,000 grant for volunteer appreciation and support of the citywide event. We'd like to invite Terry Bartman with the 2019 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge Committee to accept this grant.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
The Medicine Hat Pregnancy Support Society assists those facing challenges during and after pregnancy. In order to enhance an existing sewing program, the Community Foundation has approved partial funding of $5,000. President Brenda Knodel is here to receive fund for this grant. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 6 in Redcliffe provides services to Canadian Allied veterans and their families and is actively involved in supporting their community. The Legion building has been in need of repairs, and 2 new heating and air conditioning rooftop units need replacement for the building to continue to act as a venue for events. We'd like to invite President Steve Marshall and Vice President Marilyn Hunter to accept partial funding of $12,500.
On behalf of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 6 in Redcliffe, thank you very much.
The Redcliffe Youth Centre promotes healthy and safe choices for their youth, allowing them to develop a sense of belonging within their community. The Community Foundation has funded the dinner program at the centre in the past and is happy to present a $1,000 grant for a youth garden. Here to accept the grant is Program Coordinator Kaylee Weigel. The Town of Redcliffe Library Board supports the community in a variety of areas, including family literacy and by inspiring lifelong learning. I would like to welcome up Tracy Weinrock, Library Manager, to accept a grant of $4,000 for the new bike lending program in Redcliffe. We disperse approximately $200,000 with our Smart and Caring grants annually, but also distribute just as much, if not more, funding through our designated field of interest, donor-advised grants, and family funds. The Community Foundation would like to acknowledge some of the grants and funds today with those who could join us. We'd like to welcome Connie Dual, Director of Business Administration for the Salvation Army, to accept funds of $500 from Drew Barnes and the Barnes Family Fund.
Thank you for all you do. Really appreciate all your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please welcome representatives from the Care Beyond Cure Fund, Jan Dines and John Pye, to present funds of $4,085 to Ben Kwan, Development Officer with the Covenant House Foundation for the BED program.
I got the mic. Should like to talk about Covenant Health for a minute. A little over 10 years ago, Garth Vallely, Mike Christie, and I approached Bishop Henry and asked if he would install hospice in St. Joseph's Home. The result of that was he said he'd talk to the boys. What the boys means is the 5 bishops of Western Canada are the super board for Covenant Health. Covenant Health has a budget of around $980 million and own all of the Catholic hospital facilities in the province. At that time, Jan and I were in the Medicine Hat Hospice Palliative Care Society, and we were working away on the Trees of Light program. We were making be around $10,000 or $11,000 a year for the bed program. And the bed program is 10 beds that we have in the community to give out to palliative care patients to keep for free as long as they need them. And when they're done, we take them back and put them into service after cleaning them up. We were working along with the Trees of Light program, making around $10,000 a year. And at the time, we merged with Covenant Health, and I spoke to their foundation vice president, and I said, you know, like I was pretty cocky, we were making $11,000 a year. And I said to her, how much money do you have? And she said, 38 million. So I thought we could be partners with them. We have established a hospice. I mean, sadly to say, well over 300 people have come to the hospice to end their earthly journey here in Medicine Hat. It's really been quite worthwhile. Ben is on the foundation. We're still doing things like high tea and other fundraising things in the community for the bed program. It's a good program. It's part of what we do. I think it's really important for our community to have a hospice in our area.
Please welcome our founder's dear friend, Gerald Mauser, to present funds from the John Ignatius TX Ranches Fund of $2,525 to Lovell McDonnell with the Medicine Hat Big League Baseball Association.
I got asked to say a few words about John, so I guess I'm up here sort of against my better judgment. But anyway, I got talked into it. And so John would be very impressed today to see where he started and where it is today, and I'm sure it's going to go a lot farther. These gals asked me to say a couple things, what probably I can only say a few things about John because some of the things probably aren't meant for this kind of crowd. If he was having a drink, it would be he'd lift his glass and he'd say, "This is looking up your kilt." Always was like that. He had lots of sayings. Some of the sayings I can't remember and some that I do remember. Like I said, I can't say. But I remember him always saying he always drove a nice car. He had a Buick Wildcat, and then at the end he had a Lincoln. And he said, if I ever got stopped drinking or speeding, I'd have to agree with the policeman because I didn't get stopped when I did it. So he always said that. And then one other little story I got to say, we were at a bull sale one time up at Maidstone. We went out to look at the bulls that night, and, you know, we had to have a few drinks, and we came back to the hotel, and we're going around the room, and these guys put these beer right outside by the window. Well, we knew they were going to be cold in the morning, so we took one for each of us. So anyway, that's all I can say. Anyway, thanks.
This spring, we are dispersing over $42,000 to various school districts in our region, plus $15,000 towards our Youth in Philanthropy program. Some of the more notable and large scholarship funds include the James and John McConnell Scholarship, which will disperse $22,340 to the Chinook School Division this year. The Valley Family Scholarship Fund will distribute $6,520 to the Grasslands Regional School Division and the Chief Gordon Earl Legacy Leadership Legacy Fund will distribute $2,430 to various Medicine Hat school districts. The Lyle Ailman Memorial Scholarship was established in 2015 for students undertaking business administration. Please welcome Carissa Ailman to present the Lyle Ailman Memorial Scholarship of $1,875 to Regan Weeks, Assistant Superintendent of the Prairie Rouge School Division. The Karen and Anita Cunningham Scholarship was established in 2017 for Medicine Hat High School drama students entering an Arts or of Humanities post-secondary program. Please welcome Karen Cunningham to present a check of a $500 scholarship to Mark Davidson, but he's not here. He didn't make it, okay. Come on up, Karen. Superintendent, okay, perfect. So Selena will be doing that for him. Awesome. Thank you, Selena. Good. Way to step in. Teamwork, right? Okay. Dr. Timothy Clugston was a philanthropist and with an unwavering willingness to help. In Dr. Clugston's estate, he established the Dr. Timothy Clugston Fund to benefit the University Hospital Foundation, 4 health charities in Alberta, as well as the Community Foundation Southeast Alberta Operating Endowment. The first fund disbursement from Dr. Clugston's fund totals over $4,000. I'd like to welcome Mayor Ted Clugston to present to one of those health charities. Accepting on behalf of the Medicine Hat Health Foundation is Executive Director Heather Bach.
My brother was a bit of a eccentric. He was a larger-than-life gentleman. He wouldn't actually have been here tonight. He often would like to give, but he gave very quietly. He was a big believer in hand up versus hand out. And so he would often give people, fund people's dreams if they wanted to start a pub, local pub or a bar or a restaurant, or just help somebody out who couldn't get financing some other way. And he would believe in people and give them his money. So he was very generous that way. But of course, he amassed a fairly a good estate, and mostly because he never had any kids. And minor bleeding me dry right now. But anyways, I was happy that that he decided to become a Heritage Club member just very shortly before he passed, actually. And but my brother was always very wise, smart with his money for the most part. And one of the reasons was it made good sense. And I'm giving you a plug, and you didn't even know I was going to do it. But a proper estate planning is that if you have some assets that are going to attract capital gains or tax that you can't leave to anybody else, oftentimes the best place to leave them is to a charity, because they'll do more, you get more bang for your buck if you can pass it on rather than pass it to heirs who are going to have to pay tax on it. So anyway, that was one of his motivating factors as well. He's giving back to the community, and it was also smart. So anyway, congratulations and thank you.
This spring grant cycle, Community Foundation Southeast Alberta has distributed $280,290. All of this was made possible because of our donors' continued generosity. Please join me in applauding our donors who make the work we do as a foundation possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. The last piece of recognition we have is called pinning our Heritage Club members. So Heritage Club members are individuals, as Mayor Ted Clugston said, are individuals who have left a future gift in their estate planning for the Community Foundation. And sometimes we know of these people and sometimes we don't. And so I'm going to start off. Ajit, I need you back up here, sorry. Anyhow, we had a lovely, lovely surprise earlier this year with an estate gift from Elizabeth Beeman's estate. And it was unexpected, although I hear she was quite a philanthropist and generous woman as well. But we'd like to honor her gift to us by having her son Ken please come up and accept the Heritage Club pin. Say something nice about your mom.
Yeah, my mom was a wonderful woman. So she always admired people that were able to provide gifts to charities and help them out. And she always said, I don't think I'm ever doing enough, but she sort of waited till the very end, and then she picked 7 charities, 4 of them in Medicine Hat and 3 national or provincial ones, and made a fairly generous, I think, contribution to each of them. So, and the Community Foundation was near the top of the list, if not the top of the list, and she recognized the good work that was being done by your organization. And it makes me very happy to be here to accept this recognition on her behalf. So.
Thank you, Ken. We should be pinning Gregory Niwa, one of our board members, tonight, but he's on top of a crane somewhere, he told me. But, you know, he tells me that a lot, so I'm not sure if that's where he actually is, but I think so. Anyhow. And we have one more member that's in attendance today that we didn't get a chance to pin last time, and he's already been up here a couple of times, but that's okay. You know, it's really, when people do create a fund and leave a gift, it just, the impact just goes on today, tomorrow, and forever. So we'd also like to call Drew Barnes up to get your pin today. Nikki, is that everything I was supposed to do? Thank you. So I'll just close in saying there's still a little bit of food left, and also to thank you again for coming. For those of you that are donors, Heritage Club members, service providers, board members, committee members, caterers, former staff, partners, thank you very much, and have a wonderful summer.